This South Africa does not choke. Well, they've got a fair bit of batting arsenal left, and this is a team that knows how to close games. India, despite having as many runs on the board, perhaps were marred by the amount of dew there was. Can this loss be attributed to dew or credit where is due? For South Africa, our experts will tell us. Zaheer and Bhattacharjya, where did India lose this?
Well, I think it was a terrific game of cricket to start with. I think it was when someone chases down 350 plus total. Obviously, you got to give the credit to the chasing team to be able to put up a good run chase. You saw initially there was still the movement which the bowlers could have taken advantage of. Arshdeep was very good with that. Harshit couldn't really replicate what he did in the first game, and I think that is where that one moment where you've seen Markram start of the innings was struggling. There were some inside edges which went for boundaries. You could see that there was opportunity of creating that pressure again. India missed that window of opportunity and Markram encashed on that. And after that, it's just some brilliant batting from Markram. Temba Bauma supporting him very well, setting that platform. Brisky batting very well again, following up innings from the previous game. Brevis some good power. So even though South Africa lost few wickets, maybe after 35 overs, more wickets than they would have liked, they still made it very easy. And there maybe the contribution of dew, as you're talking about, was evident. But other than that, it was just a simply well managed run chase, I would say.
Yep, given that there was that amount of dew, this was perhaps a soap opera that South African fans would have loved. Apologies for
Manish
that.
Has got full array of jokes.
He's got fixed all his dew jokes coming.
As they say, comedy is an extension of tragedy. It's a tragic finish, but it's a good one for South Africa. Now, just to think that, we'll take a look at the summary first and then look at, analysing this game threadbare. 362 for 6 South Africa with 4 balls to spare, winning this by 4 wickets, aided by Aiden Markram. Breedske, a very breezy innings as well there, 68 of 64, very much in control. Brevis really upped the run scoring when there was this threat of losing their way, but Brevis showed so much power that he has, and Zach will tell us more about that. A disappointing outing really for Prasidh Krishna, going at over 10 and over. Harshit Rana and Arshdeep tried their best, but it wasn't to be. One more example, Joy, of how this format allows you to make a comeback. They were only 51 in the first 10. And that means they've gone on to score 307 in the back 40.
Absolutely. Give them credit. They also understood that keeping wickets in hand in this format is very vital. And they managed to do that for a long, long time. You see, they didn't lose too many wickets, and then they reached at 67 for 0. So you're scoring at 6.7, but you're not losing wickets. And even in stage 2, you've still lost just 3 wickets. So what they had was they had enough firepower left for the chase. And I think the crucial innings for me was, there were lots of anchor innings, but the way Brevis came and just upped it at one point in time, the scoring rate was around 9. And that's where you see that Brevis effect at 7.9 and 8.5 in that 21 to 30 and 31 to 40. That just supercharged the innings. And after that, the run rate never went above 8, 7.5, 8, 8.5, 7. So it was always under control after that.
And if it wasn't for KL Rahul and Jadeja, India might not have reached 358. So those batters can't be blamed for India. 358 is a fair number of runs, right?
Exactly. I think 358. You can't ask for more. Yes, if you get more, it's a bonus. But if you're not able to defend 358, you will struggle to defend 370 as well. It's one of those kind of days. I think the fact that previous game also showed some glimpses of what South Africa can do and how the Indian bowlers were under pressure. And that is something which was a progression of that in this particular game as well. Prasidh, you don't have to point out a single individual, but Prasidh is someone who has been that weak link maybe in the last couple of games. You've seen he's not able to figure out exactly how to play that role. That's something in today's game also was evident. His economy was also on the higher side. The captain is always then thinking about, how you can use your resources, whether you have enough confidence in using Prasidh. Otherwise, he had that moment which after 35 overs, he could have actually gone to Arshdeep and Kuldeep, bowl him in tandem at that stage, create more pressure or create that wicket-taking opportunity. He was not able to do that because he wanted constantly, back of his mind was that, okay, Prasidh's over, I need to get some overs out right now before it gets too late, because with the dew factor, Washington and Jadeja at that stage looked like wasn't a good option to go to for any captain.
Yeah.
So, you know, just how you use your resources, how you have the confidence of bringing someone. If someone is having an off day, then it becomes difficult and challenging for a captain. You kind of feel that you are stuck in using all your resources. That was something which I was watching.
Yeah, you know, I just want to add to exactly what he said. That you have a situation where you know that at some point he would have realized that this pitch with the dew, with whatever is happening, is a difficult pitch to defend. At some point, KL Rahul would have decided that. Now, there are two ways you can react to that as a captain. One is, say, attack up front and make the asking rate 10.5, 11, 12. So get my best bowlers back. Use Arshdeep, use Kuldeep, use Rana if I think that he is effective in these circumstances. Push the run rate up.
Yep.
Then if it's 12, 13, 14, then they'll struggle in the end. So that's one way of looking at it. He did the reverse. He said, let me keep my best bowlers. Whatever happens, the run rate will still be there. Then I have a chance to get back into the game. So instead of trying to kill the game early and making it difficult for them, he chose to hold back his better bowlers till then. And perhaps in hindsight in this match, that was a mistake.
It looks great when it comes off, but looks silly when it doesn't. So which way, I mean, how does one look at what the captain did?
Well, I think, you know, captain is as good as the support which he's getting on the field. So I think, you know, what you've seen in the previous game and this game, when put under pressure, especially when dew is around, what are the kind of lengths you're hitting? I think when you look at the Indian bowlers, not just singling out one pace bowler, but I think when it comes to executing those middle phase overs, you are either too short or too full. And I think, you know, that is something which was a continuation from the previous game. So today also, if you see, when there is dew, obviously you knew that is going to be challenging. But this is the second time you're bowling in these conditions where you're going to find it challenging. Now, what is the discussion happened between the previous game and this game? What are your options to go to? Is something which you can take a leaf out of Arshdeep's book, where he's going last game, the slower one into the pitch, which he's bowling really short, was working for him. He continued with that, and he actually bettered his numbers from the previous game to this game with regard to being economical.
Yep.
Harshit and Prasidh were not able to do that. So when the ball is wet, when it's soapy, when the ball is going to be slipping out of your hand, it's not easy to consistently bowl those Yorkers. You know, the Yorkers can be either a low full toss or something like that. You will not have that confidence.
Yeah.
When you bowl that in between length, not completely short, not completely full, is where you can hurry the batsman and then you can set the field accordingly. The slower one, if you're bowling, has to be your half of the pitch. You know, so these are the small little things. If you're getting the percentage higher in those areas, then the net run rate, the required run rate which you're talking about, you have to keep pushing. That's how you manage to slightly kept pushing the required run rate up, which is already up like 9, and it goes to 10, goes to 10.5, 11. Suddenly that results in a wicket. I think, you know, those are small little things. When the game is going even, the margins really matter, and that's where maybe some work needs to be done.
When Bumrah is around, Siraj is around, unlikely that Prasidh Krishna will get a game, and therefore these are really key auditions for him. We often talk about role clarity on cricket shows in different formats, especially in the white ball format. What is Prasidh Krishna's role?
Well, a seamer who is going to be ranked 3 in the bowling lineup is obviously going to be doing the tough job, which is, you know, when the ball is old, the first change role is always going to be a tough one. So you have to be able to hit the deck hard, hit the lengths right. And I think, you know, when you're talking about the last 2 games, I'll just go a step further. Also, the Washington Sundar's role needs to have that clarity.
Yep.
You know, so if it's going to be dew around and the spinners are going to find it tough, so you know that after a certain point they might go out of the game, and in that scenario a seamer bowler can contribute. Maybe you have that cushion, and you will see that kind of thought process from this Indian team. I think, you know, they'll have to do that proactive change in the decider where you have the option of bringing in Nitish Reddy in place of one of the spinners to make that 6 bowling option, which creates that advantage. Here, when the game is dew affected, then you are hamstrung. So maybe you can address that with bringing in Nitish Reddy in the playing 11.
Just wonder though if Washington Sundar is being backed to be in the 11 to turn him into a proper batter who can give you a few overs over the next 1 or 2 or 3 years.
Look, if you're looking at that, there are so many things we have to look at. But I mean, if that is the case, my question to you is that if you're looking for the future of, say, ODI cricket, what's the future? What are we looking at? South Africa, the T20, the World Cup, 50-over World Cup. Will you be able to ever take 2-3 spinners in South Africa?
No chance.
You're not going to take. So then there's no long-term thought process.
And he's anyway not your top 3 spinner.
Exactly. So there's no long-term thought process with Washington Sundar at this point in time. I have a very simple question to ask you. I look at it the other way around. I'll say 2 matches we've played. In both matches, we've got to 350. Okay, we've given a 350 plus target. Clearly, batting is not our issue. What do we need to bolster out here? We need to, obviously the bowling is something that needs work on. And I think that's what they'll be looking at, to say that, okay, how can I give my captain slightly more bowling resources, especially since we've been losing toss after toss, 20 in a row. Yeah. So we give our give our captain more resources.
Yeah, I saw visuals of KL Rahul losing the toss and he was as disappointed as he would after getting out, but it's a problem that nobody can solve except God. Yes, you're saying something.
No, I was not saying something.
Okay, just smile.
I was listening to you.
Right, let's give South Africa credit where it's due. Aiden Markram set the foundation for this chase, barring that one lucky break where Jaiswal dropped him on 53, I think it was. He did most things right. A lot of runs in the V today, so chanceless.
Yeah, he's a very good player. Again, he was someone who was trying his luck in the middle order, and now he's back to his spot. And I think this spot is actually a very good spot for him. Once you see off that new ball phase, which today also we were talking about, that initial phase is over. After that, he's a complete player, and he's not afraid of taking the spinners on. You're talking about that V, 22 and 34 runs being scored there. Obviously, he's got power and the reach to be able to clear the rope with ease, and that's what he was looking to do. The way he got out also was in the similar fashion. He wanted to be that guy who is putting bowlers under pressure, showing that intent, and he did fantastically well today.
10 fours and 4 sixes. That means 64 of those runs came in big shots. And yet his eventual final strike rate is about 112, which means he sort of picked his spots and
I think
didn't panic.
Yeah, exactly. We're talking about 51 in the first 10. So obviously he started going later. And again, he was very distinct. See, if the ball skids on, one of the advantages of when there's dew is the ball skids on, it comes nicely onto the bat. So he's hit most of his big shots in the V. So that V you see is also a lot of his sixes. So the power was straight down the ground. He took advantage of it. He played the conditions well. And I think that's what I'm saying. He showed a lot of maturity as a batter and understanding the conditions. And, in these matches, because the margins are wafer thin, there's so much, there's dew, there's so much, these catches, the catch that Yashasvi dropped in, misjudged, these become even more vital.
Right, there's another man in this middle order. Remember, Henrik Klaasen has retired from all forms, and that means an opportunity for 27-year-old Matthew Breedske. He's only 10 ODIs old, Zach, but he seems to give the impression that he's been around for a long time.
Again, someone who is used to opening the innings, someone who is likes to take the fast bowling on right from the word go, has adapted his game to suit middle order role. So that is something which was very interesting. He's not looking rushed. He's very assured of his own ability, and those are the biggest takeaways for me when I watched him bat in this last 2 innings. Today again, he was able to kind of shift gears. Understanding that initial phase you can get in, you can take your time to get in. And then look to put bowlers under pressure. Singles and doubles is something which he's rotating at ease. So yeah, some good signs there.
Sure.
Batting average of over 58.
Yeah.
His terrific batting average over 58. Got 150 in his first ever ODI, which is a record which broke Zaheer's record of the highest score on debut. Look, he's a complete player. If you look at it, the problem is there are not that many ODIs played. And, South Africa has been rotating their team a lot because they've been playing lots of formats and lots of tournaments elsewhere. But he's a solid player. And that's the thing. Can you imagine a team of the quality where a person like a Klaasen drops out of your international team?
Yeah.
And Klaasen is considered probably one of the greatest players of spin in the modern generation. Yeah. And they walk in and step in and their batting is normal. Even the last match, they might have lost the match. They reached 330 odd runs.
Right, at the end of the 30 over mark, South Africa were about 160 away, and in walked a man that has perhaps given a backhanded compliment to the talent scouts of the Mumbai Indians who found him. Brevis, the Chennai Super Kings fans are certainly happy. Brevis scoring the way he is. There's so much firepower in this young man's batting arsenal.
Well, if you look at his career, right from the under-19 days, he's shown that that he's got the ability, he's got the hunger, and he wants to do well at this level. So given a chance, he was always going to be ready for it. Yeah. And I think South Africa has had a very clear conversation. The way he's approaching the game, the role clarity is also equally important. Yeah. For a youngster to be able to go out there and just bat fearlessly, you need to show that kind of confidence in that youngster. That's one. But also give him that license. Yeah. That, in the process, if you're going to fail, you're not going to lose your spot. Yeah. And I think, that is something which is very important for any player. Looks like Brevis has been communicated in that fashion. So that's why he's walking in that situation. He knows that he's the one, even though he's walked in, is going to be the one who is going to have the fearless approach and look to take the bowling on. Yeah. And power is something, which is very evident. Yeah. He's shown that right from the first season which he played in IPL to now he's just getting better and better.
Came into bat in the 31st, out in the 41st, and that passage of 10 overs, they could have easily lost their way. But at the age of 22, he's showing incredible maturity, Brevis.
Maturity, and look, again, what Zach has talked about, this team, the way this South Africa has been playing their cricket over the last 2-3 years, very interesting in the way that they're really trusting their players, they're backing them, they're spending time with them, they're giving them their roles. And each of the players has matured. I mean, you see even Markram. Markram was a huge talent, and then everyone thought he'd lost his way in the middle. Yeah. And now he's come back, he's found his place. Under Bavuma, things have calmed down as well. This is a team which is a very, very different looking team. And a lot of people had said that with the South African policy of what they were doing of backing integration, racial integration, there'd be lots of problems with the team. The best would not get selected. But if you go and see the results of the last 2.5 years of what they've given, I think whatever they're doing with their cricket is an unqualified success.
Bavuma is 35, De Kock 32, Markram 31, the rest of them in their mid-20s. Come that ODI World Cup, this team will be ripe and ready for a big World Cup at home.
Well, they've shown that signs, those signs. They played the T20 finals as well. Wasn't long time ago.
Exactly.
And they came very close to winning as well against India. So they are test champions again, so that is something which is right now the results are also talking about the kind of hard work which they've been putting and the kind of processes they've been following. That hunger is seen. South Africa always had cricketing talent, but I think somewhere the administrative side also needed to come together in terms of having that calmness in the dressing room. This dressing room is looking calmer. This squad is looking more confident, and this squad is looking well prepared to deal with tough situations. Absolutely. I mean, if you look at South Africa's record, after 15 overs when they lost those wickets, the old times or maybe a few years back, you'll say here they go. From here they can make a match from the winning situation. Turn into a losing situation and actually lose the game. But that's not happening. The previous game also, having lost 3 wickets early, they still managed to find a way of coming close. And maybe at one stage looked like, if things had gone their way a little bit, they would have managed to create a real scare there. So I think this side is growing in confidence and ready to fight till the end, which is a great sign.
And they're gunning for titles now, having won the Test Championship. They will gun for white ball titles over the next half a decade or so. A team they lost to at the T20 World Cup final, that's India. The T20 World Champions will be in a 5-game battle against the South Africans starting the 9th of December. And here's India's squad that was announced earlier today. Shubman Gill is a part of the squad, but you take a look at that. There's an asterisk mark next to his name, and that means that he will be playing subject to fitness clearance from the COE. Suryakumar Yadav, the captain, the rest of the squad pretty much along expected lines. I don't see Rinku Singh there because he's been given a break for his shadi.
I mean, there's no official news of it, but probably, yeah, that would probably be an explanation. But this is India's, I mean, if you were to look at it with the possible exception of Rinku, this is India's A team out there.
Yep.
I mean, everyone of any note who they think is going to play in the T20 World Cup, all these people are candidates.
And I'm glad there's no break for Bumrah because you want your premier bowler. I mean, he's your number one bowler. So.
Well, obviously, a few months down the line, you will be playing the World Cup. So you want the team to come together as well with that regard. Yeah. In terms of giving them the role clarity, the finer tactics, and how comfortable certain individuals are with that. So these are the moments, these are the series which you have to take advantage of. South Africa is a solid side. When you're looking at their T20 side, also they're going to be some interesting games out there.
Yeah.
Looking at how these two games have gone. So I think it's going to be a good series, and the squad is looking balanced. It's a continuation of what we've been seeing from this T20 international side. Hardik coming back is going to add to that balance also, which we're talking about. 2 spinners, 3 seamers, all those kind of matters will be discussed very closely.
Yeah. And sure.
Yeah, sorry. I was just thinking that now we've got Hardik back. Okay. We had gone to the theory of that our keeper will be a finisher keeper. Okay, which is why we were preferring Jitesh. Now that Hardik is back and therefore you have another finisher there in that place, that 6, 7, 8 place, it's interesting. Will they still go with Jitesh as a keeper out there and play it at 6? Or do they, because if they play Sanju at 6, that's really playing him out of position. So it's.
I think that's the reason they have not gone with him in Australia. So eventually Jitesh took that position, and Sanju was on the bench.
Yeah.
So I think that one call which they'll have to make as the series starts, and what kind of thought process they are having also will be depending on how whether Shubman is fit and available or not, and those kind of things.
Since that T20 World Cup, we've noticed that India prefer batting depth, so everyone can go and bat in the 5th gear, and this squad allows them those options.
No, the squad allows them that. So my point is, if Shubman Gill does not play,
Sanju opens.
Then Sanju can open.
Yeah.
If Sanju opens, then that means that middle order opens up.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. But if Sanju does not open and Shubman opens, that means immediately you've got to get Jitesh here.
Yeah.
So that one other middle order position is taken up by Jitesh. Not that Jitesh is not a super con. It's just that what is India's... So there's a order of attack. Am I a opening batter keeper team or am I a finisher keeper team?
The playing
India has to decide.
The playing 11 template needs to be frozen.
Yeah, that's my
well in advance, so that they have got that clarity.
Given that India play that T20 World Cup at home, India will need to figure their bowling combinations as well. Are there specific questions that India will look answers to in these 5 games? What's your preferred bowling combination playing at home?
Look, we've seen that it all condition based, and I think with T20s we've seen you want to have Kuldeep, you want to have Varun, and then you want to have one all-rounder which is going to create that flexibility. So that those are going to be your 3 spinners, which means you've seen in the previous tournament as well when Hardik and Bumrah were preferred.
Yeah, 1 and 2.
Right. So that is how I think that they're going to go, unless the conditions are tilted in favor of playing 3 seamers. That's when the real decision making is going to come into play. Otherwise, I think they'll continue with that and maybe have Shivam Dube also in the side to give you that option of, if need be, the seam up option is always there.
No, yes, I totally agree with him. And I think this is the template India follows in the subcontinent now. Hardik takes a new ball with Bumrah. They use a lot of spinners in the middle. Sometimes they'll play the extra paces, but very often you'll probably see just Hardik and Bumrah.
And they also have been using Bumrah with the new ball pretty much.
Yeah.
So that's something which I feel they need to relook at.
Yeah.
They've been very consistently using Bumrah for 3 overs and then just leaving his 1 over out. Because you're playing so many spinners, you kind of thinking that, okay, Bumrah's overs are going to be wasted, or, maybe rather use him up front as an attacking option. So that change also they can try in this series.
In fact, they used Shivam Dubey as well with the new ball against Pakistan in that final, and he bowled all right as well. So lots of options that Gautam Gambhir and Suryakumar Yadav have at their disposal for this 5-match series. But the ODI series locked at 1 apiece. The third one, the decider, will be played in Visakhapatnam on Saturday. The Indian bowling group will be licking their wounds up until they reach Visakhapatnam. The toss clearly is not in their control. Assuming India lose toss number 21 and Dew comes into play because it's a coastal city, is Vizag. Specifics that India must look to do. Let's talk about the changes first. Does Nitish Kumar Reddy come in for you straight away?
I think so. I think, that's one call which they'll have to make. In place of maybe Washington Sundar at this stage. That's how it's looking. You can, if you need a left-hander in the middle, you can still go to Ravindra Jadeja and use his services as a batter. But if there is Dew, and again you land up in the similar kind of situation, then you will need a seam-up option. And I think, Prasid, even if he's had last couple of very tough games for him individually, you still need to back that because this is in ODI cricket you still need 3 seam options, and that is something which they'll have to create. You create another cushion in Nitish Reddy and bring him in the playing 11 in place of Washington Sundar. I think that will be a good change.
The batting's worked wonderfully in the first 2 games, so don't fiddle with that. That's the only change possible. Then Tilak has to sit out, unfortunately.
Yeah, and look, now this is, had India won 2-0. Then they might have looked at it slightly differently.
Yeah.
Try give somebody else a chance, an opportunity. Because after that, it's a dead rubber.
Yeah.
But this rubber is very much alive and they cannot afford to play 3 spinners because as you can make out, KL Rahul at that point in time is wondering where he's going to get his next overs from because he can't go to his spinners.
Yep. South Africa, well, they've won. They will have their tails up. But remember, De Zorzi went off the field with some trouble with his right hamstring. And what are their batting options? They've got the keeper batters, Rickleton and Herman. Who would you bring in, Joy?
See, I would still go with Rickleton only because he's a more experienced batter and he's there and he's been a part of the system.
Yeah.
This is a very big match. They might even also have to look at a replacement for Nandri Burger because Otniel Bartman might come in because Burger also, remember, limped off the field. He had some sort of an issue and Steyn was saying it could be his back, it could be something. So we don't know anything. So force changes for them and give them credit with, one batter going out, one bowler going out. They still managed to chase 350, 359.
Yep, those are the only
the same. I
possibilities.
think that's the possible selection debate they will have, and it will result in exact thing what Joyda was mentioning. I think Rickleton will get the continuation.
Just hope they figure a way to win the toss. Yeah, 20 is too big a number, Joy. It's not done.
1 in a million, it will become 1 in 2 million if they lose the next one.
May that not happen. Right, players to watch out for before we say goodbye.
Well, players to watch out for. I think Virat from India's side, would love to see him score a hat-trick of
3 in a
100.
row, yeah.
That will be something special at this stage. I think for South Africa, Jansen, I think, he's someone who's been showing a lot of signs of greatness, I would say. So he's someone who's had a terrific Test series, a good, decent ODI series. I think he's the man to watch out for.
Yeah, I would have gone for Jansen also, but I think if Jansen's already taken, I'd go for Markram because I believe he's really the crux of their batting right now, how much he gives. And from India's side, I'm looking forward to seeing if Nitish Reddy plays, I'm looking forward to see him because I think he's an important piece of our Indian fast bowling all-rounder category. And if he can give in new overs and he comes in and gives good overs for India, it could make a difference.
Right, Mr. Khan has just sown the seeds of what could be a hat-trick of hundreds for Virat Kohli. Remember, we started the day with something about hat-tricks. Joy will tell us what that question was and the answer and the winner's name as well.
Absolutely. So he played just, as I said, 6 Test wickets, out of which 3 were part of a hat-trick. This is Bangladeshi cricketer Alok Kapali. And of course, Bangladesh, he didn't have a chance. He played actually quite a few ODIs, but didn't play that much Test cricket. But 6 wickets, one of them part of a hat-trick.
A lot of Bangladeshis, millions of them, have Cricbuzz on their phones. Is it a Bangladeshi or is it an Indian, one of Joy's many fans? Tough to say.
Hometown Boy 3 Now, we don't know where the hometown is. Is it Chittagong? Is it Sylhet? Is it Calcutta? Is it Baroda? Who knows?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm sure he or she is part, the boy, right? So he is part of the Cricbuzz family. And you'll see the Cricbuzz family once again in this very studio on Saturday afternoon. I'll take a break and the wonderful Zaheer will join the two of you.
Absolutely.
On Cricbuzz Live, 1 p.m. Saturday. It's a date. See you then. Bye for now.